Bum, 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 bum. Hey everybody, welcome on to another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing. I'm really excited to open up Ra. This is from famed designer Reiner Knizia and from famed illustrator Ian O'Toole, 25th Century Games. This is the Pharaoh edition of Ra. Look how big this box is. The non-Pharaoh edition comes in a little smaller, I mean, not quite half of this thickness, but this is one hand's width. That's how we measure things in America. Feet and hands. 2 to 5 players, 30 to 60 minutes, ages 12 plus. Boom! All right, here we go. Deluxe metal components. This is Pharaoh edition, meaning the Kickstarter Deluxier edition. Deluxe wooden components. Everything in here is basically made out of wood. If it's not, it's made out of metal. Invoke the power of the sun god. Take on the role of a line of Egyptian kings ruling over your vast kingdom. You will work to improve the culture of Egypt and the strength of your royal lineage, all while following the will of the gods. Time is limited, so you must wisely decide how to spend your days. In the end, will you have pleased the gods enough to move on to the field of reeds in the afterlife? I thought this game was about getting points. I didn't realize it was about securing your eternal well-being. Whoa, this bag is big. This bag is massive. Why is it so massive, you might ask? Well, because all of the tiles in this Pharaoh edition of the game are not cardboard. They are, in fact, quite the contrary. They are chunky wooden bits. Look at this. This is wild. So, you've got your different types of tiles in this game here. So these ones, these red ones are all the Ra ones, which are going to move the Ra marker forward. That is the timer of each round. And then you've got the architects that you want to try to get. It looks so good. I mean, I don't know about, oh, you know what? This one's actually pretty ugly. Tom, yeah, Ra is ugly. I'll just take it off your hands for you. You got the different types of buildings here that you're trying to build. I'm going to make a huge mess. It's okay, because they all literally go in this giant tile pull bag. So that's fine. What do you got? And so they've got these little engravings here to kind of differentiate them. You know, because not only is the beautiful picture going to help differentiate, but that's the third, that's the fourth, that's the first one. You got the Sphinx. Wow, this looks great. Fifth one. So you got all the different types of monuments that you can build, all with these really cool backs. What else we got in here? Other types of tiles. Oh, yes, of course. You've got the Pharaoh tiles. Those are going to be important for majorities. You've got, these are the priest tiles, I think, or the god invocation tiles. These are the ones I believe that are special ability. You can grab a tile out of turn sequence. The plague ones, or the the ones that will destroy your stuff, are clearly outlined in red, so you know what it is that you're going to lose. Oh, arrowed. That sucks. Nobody likes those. Oh my gosh, we're gonna look at those other things here in a moment. Yeah, so you've got the, are they both in? Yeah, yes, here you go. So you've got both the Nile tiles here, and you've got the flood tiles over here. They're distinguished by the different number of markings there, so that looks good. Distinguishable. Almost done with me just dumping out all these tiles here. We got anything else unique in here? No, a lot of Nile tiles, a lot of flood tiles. Hey, here's some more of the Ra tiles that, you know, move the marker forward. We'll get to that in just a second. Ah, yes, the coin tiles, the ones that are just straight up worth coin points. So those look good. Man, I like the look of this. All right, am I hiding my emotions very well? I like the look of this one. The wood, by the way, is fairly light. It's not like super dense wood. So this whole thing here, with all of the tiles in it, doesn't weigh too terribly much. Now, I'm sure that many of you are asking, why am I still watching this? But if you are, For some reason, that didn't work out very well. I was hoping, sort of trying to do it in frame, but I want to see how well this bag works. I'm sure that people are curious. With so many big, chunky tiles, is the bag big enough? My goodness, there is a ton of space left in there. So even with... I'm sorry, my hand was kind of blocking most of that. Ah, there's so much space in the bag! Seriously. Like, this isn't like a good way, the Lay's potato chip issue, where the bag is still massively big enough that there's room to reach in there, mix around all the stuff. Oh my goodness. Yes, so that is looking great so far. Next, let's, oh come on, we gotta show off this thing. This is Ra. This is the statuette that you're going to be invoking. Massive. Massive, I tell you. So when you start an auction, you grab this fella. I invoke the power of Ra. So that's great. Look at these bidding chips here. You have 3 of these at the start of the round. They are big and thick, and they look great on the back. They look great, very visible, clear to read on the front. I dropped one on the floor. Don't worry, I'm not going to miss it because it's clearly large. So these look great. It's numbered 1 through, what was it, 16, I think, are the highest in there. This is where a lot of the weight comes from. These are the metal victory point scoring chips. So what do we got? We got 1s, we got 5s, we got 10s, and 2s. And the way that these are done, that's really interesting. So on the gold inside, it shows the amount of points, but on the back side, they're all grayed out, whether it's a 2 or whether it's a 5 or a 1 or a 10. And that's because you can then hide your score. You can keep your score a secret. So these ones are the 10s, but on the back side, they're going to look the exact same thing as the 2s, and then you can, make change or whatever, but oh my goodness, there's a lot of these. There's a lot of these, so it's not like necessarily you're going to be making change all the time. Yeah, that's fascinating. If you can see from the side angle, they're silver on one side, gold on the other, and they do a good job. They look the same front and back, so nice. Oh my gosh, that's where, like I said, a lot of the weight comes from in this box. That's fabulous. A smaller draw bag. Oh, this is probably just a storage bag. Oh, this is for, I'm guessing this is for the victory point things, the victory point markers. This is a round marker here. You play 3 rounds of the game, and so first round, and then second round, and then you remove this one, and on the board it'll show the symbol for the 3rd round. So what's different? Rules all the way on the bottom. Thankfully, I know this game decently well. So now let's look at, you got your player boards here. So as you get these different types of tiles, when you win them in auctions, you're going to be slotting them into the proper areas. So these ones are going to be going up here, and you see that they fit pretty nicely right there. And if you have these little architect-typey people, you can put them over there. You put the purple monument tiles, you're going to be slotting them over here in this area, and you can have a bunch of them kind of growing out the sides, and it shows you all the scoring for how they work. This is end of game. That's why it shows red hourglass. This is every round. All the rest of them score every round. And then you'll notice here also, so every round is green and yellow and red. And then it looks like these are the permanent ones that you hold on to, right? The monuments and the pharaohs and the Nile River tiles. These ones you always hold on to. These ones are the ones that get discarded at the end of each round. The God's Favor tiles, the money ones, the architects, and then the flood tiles. So that is done in a way that's really nice and just kind of shows off. Oh, hello there. Oh, different player counts. Different player counts. So these ones are only 4 and 5 player, right? Whereas normally, I didn't notice this. They have the amounts pre-written on there. because you start with various different auction chips depending on whether you're, like, they're not randomized. You start with the 14 and the 9 and the 4 in a 5-player game. In a 4-player game, you start with the 11, the 8, and the 4, and you notice that these are different for all the different ones, so all the different sides there. On the back, you've got player count, so this is for 2 and for 3 players. This one being only for 3 players, so that's really smart. That's really well done, too. So you have a quick little setup guide, because that's the thing I always have to look up. Who gets how many chips, or who gets which chips. That's good. And then the main board over here, there is a difference wherein in the original version, when you, or in previous printings, when you pull out these raw tiles that mark the end of the round, you set them out on the board and the spaces for them. But on this one, you use this tracker to kind of show the progress, and then depending on player count is where the Osiris starts here, and so then that'll mark the end of each round when it gets all the way across when you've pulled out enough raw tiles. Well, that looks great. Now that we haven't looked at the rules whatsoever, and I've explained it all, let's take a look at the rules. Linen, finished, rule book. Can you see that if I shine the light off of it? Linen, finished. Pretty small rule book. Shows you setup with full pictures. It shows you the little setup guide there. Nice, right? It shows all the different types of things here. God tiles, that's what those are called, by the way. Yeah, so it shows you still the setup discs, depending on player count, which is a nice touch. You have 3 actions that you can do in the game. Draw a tile, invoke Ra, or spend God tiles to grab stuff out of the lineup. This is how auctions work. Once around bidding, the player who invokes Ra goes last, has to bid, whatever. Disaster tiles, how they work. Scoring. Beginning a new... I always pronounce this epoch, but someone told me that it's pronounced epic. I don't know if I believe that person or if I think that they are a fool. And then examples of scoring and stuff, how that works. Quick reference guide. Oh, look at that. Not a very complicated game, so you could have a thinner, smaller rule book that still is quite comprehensive, but I like the way this one is laid out a lot. So, I think I showed off everything that I wanted to show off on this one. That, folks, oh, this is really heavy, because this is full of metal victory point coins. That is Ra. You're taking a look at the Pharaoh edition from 25th Century Games. Thank you so much for coming by another Dice Tower daily unboxing video. I hope that you have yourselves a Ra-tastic day.